Welcome back. I hope you are enjoying the learning. In our conceptual class about inserting the data into Hive tables, we learned there are three ways we can insert the data into Hive tables. Standalone mode, by using files, and taking the data from other tables, inserting into Hive table. We have already created the Hive tables and we have inserted the data in a standalone way. All the tables we have created so far are done in standalone way. Coming to the next option where we have to insert the data into Hive tables from files. This is one of the very important use case. Most of the times in our real-time projects, we would insert the data into Hive tables through files. We can do it in multiple ways. We'll see all those ways as a part of this practical class. Pay attention here because this is one of the important use case. In the Google Cloud Platform, we can create the bucket. Why do we need a bucket? Bucket is a holder of data where we can dump all the data in file format into the bucket. How do you create a bucket? Go to the navigation menu and click on storage. Let me locate where the storage is. Here you go. Click on that. Then you will be navigated to this window. In this you can see there is a option called create bucket. You can create a bucket. You have to provide a name which is globally unique. Bliss Hive 2. I'll say continue. You can choose the different regions. It can be a region, dual region, multi-region. Lowest latency within a single region. That is a region option. And location can be anywhere. Just choose whichever is comfortable. Ideally, you should choose a location which is near to you. I'll go ahead and say create bucket. It is creating a bucket. Wonderful. We have created a bucket called Bliss Hive 2. We can upload the file into this. It's very simple. Click on upload and choose the files which you want to upload. I'm choosing the files which we would be using as a part of the Hive hands-on exercises. Choose all of them and click open. It's uploading 5 items. Wonderful. All 5 files are uploaded here. We have a files in Google Bucket. One more thing is, as we have already seen, we can launch the VM through SSH, which is having a Linux operating system. There also we can upload the files directly. What I will do is, this is a Linux machine. Now, do I have any files here? We do have file. I'll go ahead and create a directory called Hive data. Okay, so cd Hive data. What I will do is, I will go ahead and upload the same files. I will upload fresh products at the moment. It's done. You can see. Let us see if the file is there here or not. Oh, file is not there. Then where would be the file? File would be there in our home folder. Where is your home folder? Navigate to the $home. There you go. There is a file. Whenever you upload the file into a VM in GCP, it will be there in the home folder. You can move it wherever you want. So what I will do is cd Blismos Academy data Then I will move this file into the Hive data directory. It is moved. Let us see if this file is there or not in this folder. Wonderful. We have this file. We have a file to be inserted into Hive table. One of the file is there in Google Bucket. This is where we have files, and we do have a file local Linux operating system, which is provisioned by a Google Cloud Platform. And one more thing what we'll do is we'll also have a file as a part of the HDFS. Let us see what are the folders in HDFS. We have big data HDFS. We'll create a directory called Hive data here also, Hive data HDFS. Okay, there is a directory called Hive data HDFS. We will copy a file from this local Linux operating system into a HDFS directory. How do we do it? It's very simple, right? We have already practiced these commands as a part of the HDFS. There you go. We copied a file called fresh products from a local operating system into a folder in HDFS. Let's go ahead and check. We do have a file. So we have a same file in three places. One in Google Bucket. Second is within the Linux operating system. That is local Linux operating system provisioned by GCP. Next one being a folder in HDFS. We have file at three places. We can see all these three use cases. We can create a table in Hive and insert the data from Google Bucket and from a local operating system, then from HDFS folder as well. We'll go ahead and create a table to import the data or to insert the data from file. One more important aspect to create the Hive table and insert the data from a file into the Hive table is you got to create a schema of Hive table in such a way that it can hold the data from a file. For that to happen, let's go ahead and see how many columns are there as a part of this and how does the data look like. This is one of the very important steps. If you create a Hive table without even looking at the data, create some table and it doesn't make any sense. Let's go ahead and check this. You can see we have this data. It has three columns. Two of the columns looks like a string, but we need to differentiate that. And the last column looks like a integer or a float. And you can see columns are separated by comma. So separator here is comma. We need to create a Hive table considering this data. Let's create a Hive table now. I'm repurposing the earlier code to this purpose. I'm saying create table products as per the data what we have. I'm creating a three columns here. ID, that is a string, title is a string, cost is a float. Remember, we are inserting the data from a file. So what we need to do is we need to specify that while creating the table itself. What we have to say is row format while we want to import the data from a file into Hive table, you got to specify what kind of a file you are importing and how does that file look like. Here in this case, we have already seen the fields are terminated by comma. We have already seen that. You can see it here, right? Fields are terminated by comma. Let's go ahead and create this now. Use Hive DB. We'll be using a Hive DB. Let's go and say show tables. We have only one table now. Here, let's go ahead and create a table called products. Done. If I say show tables now, we have two tables. Do we have a data as a part of the products? No. Let's check that. You can see there is no data here, but we just have a schema here, okay, with three columns: product ID, products title, and products cost. Product is the name of the table. Let us insert the data into this from a local path. Wonderful. What we just did is we loaded the data from a path home Mahan Excel Blismos Academy Hive data into the products table. This is a local in path because this file is there as a part of this local Linux operating system. Load is the keyword we are using. Load data, then local in path, provide the path where the file is there, then say into table, then provide the name of the table. That's it, done. Let's check if the data is loaded or not. Yes, the data is loaded. We loaded the data into the Hive table from a file in a local operating system, that is a Linux operating system. Wonderful. We look at the next scenario now. We load the data from a file in a HDFS path. How do we do it? Let's look into that. Let's create one more table. Name it as a create table products HDFS. I'll say from HDFS. I'll go ahead and create this. If you see show tables here, we don't have this table. I'm going to create that table now. We do have a table called products from HDFS. Into this table, we'll load a data from HDFS. We have already seen HDFS DFS hyphen ls I big data. We have a data in this folder, right? From this file, we will be loading the data into Hive table. You may be wondering how is it different? It is different because the files which is there in a local operating system may not be there in a HDFS. There is a slight difference in the way you load the data from a local operating system into a Hive table and from a file in a HDFS into a Hive table. We have already seen how do we load the data from a local operating system into Hive table. Now the scenario is how are we loading the data from HDFS into the Hive table. Done. Let's go ahead and see if the data is loaded or not. Wonderful. We see the data is loaded. If you observe the way I loaded the data from a HDFS into the Hive table, instead of specifying a local, I just specified load data in path. It is not local. And then I specified the HDFS path where the file is there. Rest of the things are same. I updated this table because we specifically created for loading the data from HDFS. So load data, no need to provide the local here, provide in path and then provide the HDFS path. Go ahead and execute this command, the data gets loaded. Wonderful. We have seen the second scenario also. The third one is we are loading the data from a Google bucket. Let us see how do we do it. I'm changing the name and creating the table. It is products G bucket. You can see product G bucket is created here. So do we have a data in this? We don't have any data. Let's load the data into this table from a Google bucket. Wonderful. The way we did it here is more or less similar like loading the data from HDFS into Hive table. In the same way, we just say load data in path. We need to provide the path of the file which is present in the Google bucket. The way we do it is say gs and then colon 2/ and provide the name of the bucket. See, in my case, the name is Bliss Hive 2. Provide the name of the bucket where you have uploaded these files. After that, provide the name of the file and then into table, the name of the table. The data gets loaded from the Google bucket as well. Let's go ahead and see if we have the data in this or not. Wonderful. These are the three scenarios in loading the data from a file. One from a Google bucket, we just did. The second one is from a file in HDFS. The third one is from a file in the local operating system. We did see how do we insert the data in standalone mode and from files, and we are yet to explore this way of inserting the data, which is also one of the important ways, because as I have explained as a part of the conceptual class, we may import and create the Hive table with 100 columns. But if you want to create one more table with subset of those columns, the best way is to create the table and insert the data by using the original table. We'll see this option as a part of the hands-on. We have these tables now. We are using a HiveDB database. What we'll do is, first of all, let's go ahead and create a table in Hive. I'll repurpose this code and create table, say products, one less column. I'll say one less column. As a part of this use case, what I'm trying to do is I am inserting couple of columns from original table, that is products. Let us see what are the columns in products. Select star from products. You can see in products we have 3 columns. What I will do is I will select couple of columns from this original table and load into the new table. For that we need to create a table first. I'm creating a table now. Table is created. Say show tables. You can see. Do we have a data here? We don't have any data here. What we'll do is we'll load the data from the products table. How do we do it? There you go. What we did is we went ahead with insert into table into which we are inserting the data, and we selected only 2 columns from the original table, that is products. This was already created. This table we created product 1 less column. Now we're inserting only 2 columns from products into products 1 less column. Let us see if the data is inserted or not. Wonderful. You can see 2 columns from products are inserted into products 1 less column. This is how you insert a data from one Hive table to another Hive table. Wonderful. Please do practice all these things without fail. Thank you.